Hey guys, if you're watching this video, then you are finished with a Puzzle Cube project and have it turned in, so great job. And you can spend a little time today trying to make a snowflake pattern in Inventor with the idea that we eventually will make some nice ones and use the laser engraver to cut them out. So you could do a little research and get some inspiration. I just Googled laser cut snowflake and looked at the images, and boom, right here you can see some pictures. So this is my my idea. A lot of these look very intricate, and so these are people that are not using Inventor for the first time, or a piece of software that's cutting these actually out. So let's, like, here these look a little more simple. Let's start on the basic side. Okay, don't get so crazy and overwhelmed. Better to do, one, two, three simple ones and start growing in your skills before you tackle something really hard. Down here this looks simpler. Okay, but you can get some inspiration, and obviously there's some really cool stuff. So what I wanted to do is show you Inventor, and there's one that I did. Let me go to new part file. Okay, wanted to show you a tool that maybe you're not familiar with. When you look at some of those shapes, people did not recreate the geometry of those. Like, if think of on this snowflake, that piece that's straight up. Well, it's there, so let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those, right? They did not design that in their CAD software 6 times. Okay, and then in between each of those, they've got another kind of branch of the snowflake that looks like it's a repeating pattern. So they wouldn't have to go in and recreate that 6 times. That would take a long time. You've already created the geometry once. How do we kind of copy and paste it in a circle? So I want to show you that. All right, so I'm going to start a new sketch, and okay, for the sake of time here, I'm not going to get too complicated, but what do I want to do? Like, how about I'll grab this slot. Okay, the slot tool is, see, height-wise, I'm going to go about 2 inches up. So let me zoom out a little bit. So if I spin things around, I'm shooting for more of like a 4-inch overall size height. Okay, I'm not going to stress over that, but let me just create that, and I'm going to create, like that, and I'm going to come in here, and now I could dimension and get these things to be the same, and I don't have to use the slot tool, but okay, so let's say I've got this, and that's kind of part of my snowflake. So let me turn the slot tool off. Okay, I would like to repeat this pattern in a circle. And we have this panel right here. I don't know why the word pattern's not showing up. Usually underneath here it would say pattern, but I've got the circular pattern tool. Okay, and how this works is, first you select geometry. That button is already selected when I turn the tool on, and so I want to select the geometry that I want to pattern. So I'm going to grab all of that, and then when I'm done selecting the geometry, I have to choose this arrow to say, now I'm going to choose an axis. And it's really going to be, for this sketch, a 2D sketch, just a point that I'm going to spin around. Okay, so I chose that point. Already I'm getting a preview of what's going to happen. I can choose how many degrees that I want it to spin, and then within the number of degrees I can say how many times within that I would like it to repeat. So repeating 6 times within 180 degrees looks like that. As you can imagine, I'd probably like to stay with 360, but I can change from 6 to 5 or 4. Okay, I always think odd numbers look nice. All right, and I can hit OK. Let me go ahead and hit Finish Sketch, and let's see if this is going to extrude. Sometimes you have trouble with, like, extruding loops that are overlapping or have been patterned, but this looks pretty good. And so I knew, let's see, the material thickness is 5 millimeters. You can type in mm for millimeters, and Inventor will do the conversion. Even though the document is in inches, I type in that. Oh, edit feature. I didn't mean to be done. I wanted to select the other profile. So I'm going to edit feature. I right-clicked on the extrusion, and I want to come in and click that to say I'm going to select profiles to extrude. So I'm going to go through and select all of these little branches, arms, these kind of, I guess, ice crystals, if you will. And there is a snowflake. That easy. Hit OK, and I've got a snowflake. All right, so there's one. You guys can play around. You can try to make another sketch. If I right click on that and say new sketch, if you wanted to add some more detail, again, you play around. You can play around with other things, like I just grab that slot tool. But what if I've got that? Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those kind of diamond shaped gaps, you know, after spinning that around, right? So can I circular pattern tool this? Makes me grab that slot, and I got to select all the little pieces to it. Now the axis, I'm going to spin around that point again. Can I spin around 7 times? Does that actually, look at that, lines it up. So, and then I can extrude that. Oop, cancel. It got the wrong profile. I want to make sure I do not get the diamond shape, just that little slot. I'm just adding a little design there. Sometimes changing the zoom level helps you get the piece you wanted if it's not wanting to select the profile you want. Okay, now looking at this from the side, look at how that profile is offset. I didn't mean for that to happen, so I can change the direction. And Inventor's going, wait, there's already material that, so we think you maybe want to do an extrude cut, and so it's actually removing material. And you go, no, that's not what I wanted. I actually wanted to make material. So I just got to go back and say join, and then hit OK. And look at that, that's another little detail. Isn't that cool? All right, so there is some inspiration. So what I'm asking for is that you guys would just snip what you got and go into Schoology. So, you know, save that. Now it's a file on your computer. If you snip it, save it somewhere. Maybe call it your Snowflake1, your name, and then turn that in. Let me have a little look at what you guys have been doing. So, again, happy Thanksgiving, guys. Take care.